The man is busy with another woman. Now she needs a man. What she will do? What is option for your daughter, sir? So she was silent. He says that in these circumstances, I would not mind to my daughter to share the husband who gives her the due rights. I explained to him briefly what rights a wife demand. And then he says, look, I agree. I said, look, there's another problem. If you agree a man to have more than one wife, now a man have 100, 10, how many he should be? He said, look, another problem you have invited. So I said, look, Islam gives an upper limit, up to 4. And Allah knows the man cannot do justice. So this is permissible in certain circumstances. I hope that I answered the question. We must have to be clear about these circumstances, that every society or every man need not to marry more than one. And there is a process for that. If you ask other questions, during the other questions, I will define also in the other answers that what are the other rights given to a wife in terms of allowing the husband to marry more than one. I hope that I answered the questions that you have posed.
Sorry, I have a question related to this question. That's why I asked to ask a question. I want to ask, you said that God makes some permission for the man to have 4 wives, okay?
Can you repeat the question?
Okay, God make a permission for the men to have 4 wives. If you come by this side, 4 wives. And on the other side, he said that you have to justify between your wives and you cannot do it. So it means that he just say that you cannot justify, it means that you cannot have a 4 wives. So how do you call it permission?
Okay, I've got the question of the brother that in one verse of the Quran, Surah Nisa chapter 4 verse 3, Allah says you can have 4 wives. The other verse Allah says you cannot do justice. Brother, you have to have the meaning of the translation in very good. Allah the Almighty says not every man can do justice. There are some men who need more than one wife. So the verse of the Quran, Surah Nisa chapter 4 verse 129, there are men who can do justice between wives. Not every man.
So how men can understand, for example, how can I understand I can justify or cannot? Is it personal or somehow?
Yes, there are various aspects. Like, there are many reasons. I can go for hours together to find out one reasons. Look, if you married a wife and you have got an accident and she is disabled, now what you will do? If she is mentally ill, you cannot force her to fulfill your demands. What you throw out her to a mental hospital? No, you take her in home, and there is a widow who have half a dozen children, and she has also lost her husband, and she is still glamour. She hasn't lost her beauty, but she is married and she is virtuous. And these women have got no objections of marrying this person and to looking after his children and also his wife. He said, look, I will not mind to share my husband, and I want to serve the humanity. She can marry. Some men, medically, a man is polygynous by nature. Some men, they're polygynous, they need more than one woman. And women, they are physically not that much strong. They have their period. So there are some men who demand, this is personal, but that is physical nature of the man. There are branches of hadith, there are some verses of the Quran, that some men, it requires them, they need more wives to maintain them. And what happens if somebody is, like I give the example, sick, or there are some war refugee who may be past the age of old age, but she requires protection. In Islam, a woman is always encouraged to have protection. Now, if there is lawful manner, why not she can access? She has parents for the child, and that is also in the present circumstances in the society, that is a requirement. If a woman have got pregnant in the later age, suppose 45, and then suddenly the father dies, and then now she wanted to bring up the child, there is no money for her, the society is not giving her, there is a man who is ready to give her the lodging, boarding, the rights, economical rights, and the rights of her personal. So she said, look, I don't mind to share my husband. There are other millions of other dozens of reasons I can. If you identify the reasons, I can. So the Quran is not contradicting, it's telling to the believing man that look, don't think that you will try to be just with the wife. Don't think like that. You should have a valid reason on the circumstances. In this society, or in America, in Britain, in Russia, they need. And the Quran clearly says in Surah Nur chapter 24, verse 32, marry among yourselves. This verse explicitly explains the whole natures. Look, marry among the same religion, same tribes, same nations, same status, same virtues, same nobility, same riches, same education, same glamour. Not that you want the Miss Universe. And then you lose all other aspects. So the Quran gives a very clear-cut reasons in which aspects, which circumstances, while there is a valid reason, then it is permissible for a man to access more than one wife. I hope that is very clear. If you understand, it's very clear that not everyone, but some men is allowed to have more than one wife for valid reason. I hope that answers the question.
Sorry, but as I understand, you mean that if taking another woman may harsh the previous woman, it means that you cannot justify and you should not do that.
Like in Islam, there is a nikah contract, marriage contract. If the first wife, she can put any condition on the nikah contract. If in the contract, if she writes that you are not allowed to marry in my lifetime another wife, or you have to consult with me before taking another wife, and consultation is encouraged in Islam. Otherwise, look, if I have a wife and now intentionally I married another one and there is a conflict in the family, what is the justice? You have to be transparent. The Quran says, Surah Nisa chapter 4 verse 21, marriage is a secret covenant. It is the respect to each others. It is the understanding of each others. Allah says, Hunna libasul lakum antul libasul lahunna. You are their garments and they are your garments. You beautify each others. How is that respect if you decide yourself to have more than one wife and your wife is not giving you permission? That is an option given to her also to put mention in the nikah nama, look, you are not allowed to access more than one wife without my consultation. That right is there. She can make this option in the nikah contract. And I can give you other reasons too. Not every woman that like. I told you there are some women who don't mind to share their husbands for a reason. Look, if you have a wife and she become disabled, mentally disabled, she cannot speak, she cannot write. And now, what will she do if she has that situation? And the man knows that he has a contract. I cannot marry more than one without her permission. So a muhsana, a virtuous woman says, look, Allah the Almighty knows the best. I don't plan, but it is encouraged her, it is given her an option also to write down that, look, I would like to have these options in my contract so that we can live a peaceful family life. I hope that I answer your question.
Thank you. I would like to put the cap on this part of the topic. There was this question I was going to read, but I think you actually answered it. The sister asked, is it a big sin to not want her husband to marry more than one woman? And I think the answer is no. Is there a big sin if she doesn't want her husband to marry more than one? And I think you already answered the question.
If it is a big sin to allow her husband to marry more than one wife.
No, not to want it.
Not wanted to more than one wife. No, it's not a big
sin. I think you answered it.
Yes.
So I think we should put a cap on the number of wives issues because we can ask questions about for a very long time. And I would like to come in with another question from the notes here. Saying, Assalamu alaikum, can you explain why women can have their own money and not give her family if she doesn't want to? Why is it so?
Why is it so? I hope that it's a sister or a brother, I think, because the man is supposed to take the advantages. So I admit the man is supposed to ask the question. The brother or the sister have asked the question that why